There were more cancellations at Southwest Airlines today. No doubt there will be more to come, and not just of airline flights. At least 2 Amtrak train routes in the Northeast were canceled over the weekend, and so was a regularly scheduled car ferry in Washington State out to the San Juan Islands. In all cases, the employees in question, who had been told to get the shot, did not show up. Were these also protests against the Biden shot mandates? We can't say for certain. It certainly wouldn't surprise us, because that's our future. Thousands and thousands of Americans, the best among us in many cases, will be stripped of their livelihoods, of their lives, by the Biden White House's mandates. This is not a small thing. As of tonight, more than 50,000 U.S. Marines still have not received the shot, as well as a large percentage of the Navy's SEAL teams. What will happen when these people are gone from the force? Who's going to protect this country? Who's going to protect our cities? In Seattle, to name just one example, the city is moving forward toward firing fully 40% of the entire police force over the Biden shot mandates. Good luck getting your emergency calls answered after that, and so on. Our hospitals, our schools, our national labs, scientists and researchers at Oak Ridge and Los Alamos, among others, all torn apart by a purge overseen by Susan Rice that has nothing whatsoever to do with public health and everything to do with the accumulation of political power. That is happening right now. Make no mistake. It will continue to happen unless good people work immediately to stop it. One of those good people is Joshua Yoder. He's a commercial airline pilot. He's co-founder of the group U.S. Freedom Flyers. He joins us tonight. Mr. Yoder, thanks so much for coming on. So summarize for us, pilots who have raised questions about these mandates have been, as noted, dismissed as criminals, terrorists. Tell us your motive in resisting this mandate.
Tucker, thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Yes, my motive for resisting it is primarily religious for myself. Basically, I saw, among my friends, I saw a need. Many of us don't want to take this. People were being coerced. I believe in freedom, and I'm here to support the freedom of my fellow employees and all people across this country. I'm not going to take a mandate. I'm not going to be coerced into doing something that I don't believe in.
So there are 2 levels in which to assess this. One is the level that you just described, the level that preserves American society as we've known it for 250 years with freedom at its core. Because if they can make airline pilots do this, they can make airline travelers do this, and there's no end to what they can make you do. But describe, if you would, since you work in the business, what the effect on our national transportation infrastructure is about to be because of these mandates.
Well, as we know, the transportation sector is the heart and soul of this country, and it's a very delicate system. If there's a disruption in one part of the system, it has a catastrophic effect among the rest of the system, which is going to affect commerce, it's going to affect trade, and ultimately it's going to affect the economy. If you have flights reduced by 30% because 30% of pilots are fired because they won't take the vaccine, this is going to affect how your goods get here from overseas, how they're distributed to the stores. You know, the same thing's happening with the truckers. It's happening in the shipping industry. Those Amazon boxes that typically show up in 2 days, you might be looking at 3 weeks.
So, I mean, it turns out that people with essential skills like airline mechanics, air traffic controllers, and yes, commercial airline pilots have more power maybe than they realized. You got to wonder, if people are being pushed to the point where they're going to be fired, how many more of these sick outs, job actions, whatever, strikes, whatever you're going to call what we saw this weekend, how many more of these do you think we're likely to see?
Well, first of all, we have all the control, and the control comes from a simple word, and that's no. We just don't need to comply. As far as I'm concerned, I will never promote a sick out or a work action. That is illegal. With U.S. Freedom Flyers, the organization that I'm with, we will never promote such a thing. With that being said, we also cannot control the actions of individuals. And I think that you will see massive disruptions in supply chain and in your travel if we just stand up and say no. If these companies fire us and they fire 30% of the workforce, aircraft are going to stop moving. And it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your air travel, and it's going to affect the economy.
Joe Biden will say this is your fault. Finally, how do you respond to that? He'll blame you for this.
It's his fault. It's squarely his fault. I think anyone with a critical mind can point towards the federal government and the companies that are enforcing these illegal mandates from the federal government and see that it's the federal government's fault.
It certainly is. It certainly is. This is an amazing moment. Joshua Yoder, thank you so much for coming on tonight, for your bravery. I appreciate it.
Thank you.